time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. It has been, a few years since we've put out a podcast episode here on the Get Home Safe platform, but I figured let's throw something together here. New year 2025, just went through the holiday season, football, the playoffs are going, and just finished actually watching Ohio State and Texas here in the college football playoff semifinal. Crazy game there. A lot has happened the past few weeks, we'll say last few months. And some of you may know this, some of you may not, but one of the reasons we're throwing together an episode here after kind of a few years of a hiatus here on the Get Home Safe podcast is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bill Barnes, who used to do a weekly appearance with me on the weekly Wednesday weigh-in. Many years ago, kind of during 2020 into 2021, 2022 a little bit. It's been a few years, but he reached out, just wanted to kind of let loose, if you will, talk about everything that's been going on, especially here in Southern California, the rest of the United States, the world. Just lots to catch up on, lots to talk about, as Bill used to always say. So I was kind of like, well, it's Friday night. There's a lot going on, but yeah, why not, Bill? Let's throw together an episode. He's going to be coming to me from up in the Northwest, and we'll get all the specifics here when we bring him on here shortly. But it has been a while. I've been very busy doing other things in my life. So the Get Home Safe podcast, once upon a time, was a 5-day-a-week show when I was cutting my teeth here with the whole podcast thing. And, here we are just throwing an episode together randomly. And quite honestly, I think that's how a lot of the Get Home Safe podcast stuff will come about. It won't be weekly. We're not bringing it back or anything, but maybe if the fans out there, the fan club, if they demand a little bit more from the podcast, maybe we'll bring it back a little more regularly, we'll say. But I doubt it'll ever be weekly, monthly, but might be every few months, or kind of when big things happen here in America and the sports world and all that. So I don't want to waste too much time. It's almost Bill Barnes' bedtime, so we got to get to him here shortly. As a matter of fact, I think he's calling me right now. Let me see. Bill Barnes, I am recording live here on the podcast, and you're interrupting my intro here. Are you about ready? I got you on video. Are you about ready to go here, Bill Barnes? He said it's ready to go. Okay, let me send you the invite, and we'll get this thing going, Billy Barnes. So here we go, guys. Just like that, we're back, and it's time to bring on the one and only Bill Barnes, who has a lot to say. I might just turn on the conversation here and let him go. So lots to cover. I think you know a lot of the things we're going to cover, but a lot of the other things in there we will likely will be as unexpected as ever. So once again, welcome back to the Get Home Safe podcast. And it is my privilege to bring back, well, not quite the weekly Wednesday weigh-in with Bill Barnes, but my good friend Bill Barnes, who has a lot to say, is not for everyone, but definitely is for a lot of people. Here he is, Double B, Bill Barnes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Bill Barnes. There will be no theme music. There will be no intro. We are just getting right into it. Bill, I'm handing you the lineup cards, and it's up to you to say, play ball, my friend. He's coming to us from an undisclosed location. What's up, Billy Barnes? Good to see you, man.
We got a lot to talk about, man. We got shit flying everywhere. Okay. And
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of the Get Home Safe podcast.
Please do that.
May have some explicit language.
It will.
But
it will. I will guarantee you that.
What's up, Bill? Hey, opening statement, man. Go right ahead.
Okay. As far as the undisclosed location, I can give you a little bit. I'm up in the Pacific Northwest. I've been looking for Pete Carroll, but I can't find him. He's probably in a much better, more ritzy area than I am. And on the subject of Pete Carroll, before we go anywhere with this thing, all right, before I go into my deep dive and all my conspiracy theories, I have got to congratulate the Rio Hondo Cares. Is that the Keres's?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, outstanding. What a great season. And what a great job you did as the whatever you do, the team mascot. I don't know what it is.
Media relations, podcast
Okay,
host,
yeah, all right. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, what a great job you did. Uh, you know, um, busting that program out to the masses. I followed every week. I unfortunately was up here during their playoff run, and I would, if it had been 1 week later, I would have gone to that game in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would have gone to the game in Arcadia as well. Those two,
Yeah.
the final and then the state final. I mean, what a great job, man! What a great bunch of guys. I mean, to only have 70 boys in that school, is
Yeah.
that correct? And
That's
for what
correct.
the team has got, what, 20, 25 guys? 15,
I mean,
12, I don't know.
we suited up everybody we could there. So it was 35
Okay.
guys or
All
whatever
right.
it is.
Good.
Pretty much the
Good.
whole school. Yeah. But regularly, especially that first game, and we took down some of your old stomping grounds, Bill. The
You beat
Riverside
King.
schools out there.
Yeah, you beat Ramona and you beat King. Is that correct?
Yeah. First,
Okay.
second round.
They were always pretty mediocre back in my day, so I wasn't that impressed until you took down that Warren team that was supposedly
Man.
all this and all that. Well, what a great job, and what a great bunch of coaches you have. What a great bunch of young men it seemed like. Either that or they were just putting on their good boy face when you interviewed them. But I followed that. I followed along, and what a really congratulations. What's your head coach's name again?
Mark Carson.
Mark Carson. What a great job he did. He seemed like he never got really high or really low. He was always even keel, very poised, very polished, and that will rub off on your players, I think. So,
Yeah. No, hey, doing the podcast, my other podcast, of course, for Real Football, that was a big reason we separated things up between this and that. It's kind of like we need focus on the team and the school. And hey, Bill, if we made one fan out of you, then it was all worth all the hard work.
Well, I've always been a fan, but I'm a front runner. I'll jump on the bandwagon with the winning team, like every other person out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit it. But
you got
what
your
a great
gear,
job.
right? You got your Rio hat or whatever you wear.
I sure do, and I should have brought it up here with me, but it's at home and it'll probably get burnt up in the next fire that hits LA. So I should have had Donna put it in the trunk like we did the safe and all the other things that we've done a preliminary evacuation workup on, and that's a whole nother story that we'll get to in a few minutes. But anyway, once again, congratulations, and hopefully next season you'll take it a step farther and you'll actually win the damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Winning the 16th CIF championship in school history is pretty cool, and the state.
You're able to go out and recruit. And you guys, you're a private school. And you probably go over to the island of Samoa and get all these big linemen and give them a full ride scholarship to.
Take one look at all our big time recruits. Yeah, for sure. I say this all the time. I'm like, we've had 2 Division I athletes in Division I scholarship football players in 58 years, 57 years. So that kind of tells you who we are. But anyway, yes, Bill, thank you to the Rio Hondo Cares. Thank you for watching from afar. We'll have plenty to say.
Well, when I couldn't tune into the games, I would follow Freddie Montefusco, whatever Freddie. I always screw up his last name.
Robledo.
Yeah, I would always follow Freddie's. I would always follow Fast Freddie's posts on Facebook, and I'd get almost a play-by-play rundown.
Well, how about you mentioned Pete Carroll, Bill? How about getting Ken Norton and Pete Carroll and all them to send shout-outs?
That was outstanding. Pete looked like he the true motivator that he was and is, and maybe he's going to get a Chicago Bears job. Who knows? I think he should just shut it down while he's ahead. But again, that's not my call. And if he watches this, he's probably going to do it just to spite me. even though he doesn't know who I am and he doesn't care who I am. But
I
anyway,
think he has a special teams coach right in front of him is what he might do for you. If
well,
you are offered, if Bill, would you drop everything you're doing if you were offered an NFL special teams coaching position?
I would run there naked through ice and the Chicago storm to do that. Absolutely, I would. Are you kidding me?
Got to be a dream job. Come on,
Oh, come
got to
on.
be. And if you'd
Yeah,
have every trick play, every single
I
week.
would be screaming for every fourth down. I would say, "Let's fake it, coach. Let's do the fake. Let's do that end around double pass, throwback, that we drew up."
Oh
You
my
know,
goodness,
I
that
would
is
make I would
fantastic.
make that special teams coach that used to be with the Rams. He's now with the Cowboys. John, the little skinny guy. John
Bones Fossil.
Bone. Yeah, I would make him look like very, very, very conservative with the shit I'd come up with.
Well, Bill, lots to talk about as you mentioned. You
Yes.
kind of put together a little brief outline, so I'll let you run your show as you say what
Well,
else.
it's about time you relinquish the reins to
Man,
me and
you
let
got
me
it.
just
Bring
do
it.
this. You know,
Absolutely.
because I've done some other shows. I'm talking like the podcast veteran that I am, which I'm really not. But I've done some other shows. Got a little street cred now in this arena. But I do want to touch real briefly on very briefly. We haven't done this in like what 2 years?
At least 2 years. Yeah, it's been
Okay,
crazy.
and let's go back in time just a bit to the folks that this may be their first tune in here because I'm going to spread the shit out of this show
Hmm.
when you send it out. I'm going to put it on my Facebook, Instagram. I am going to absolutely spread this like the fires of Los Angeles. Okay, this is going
Ooh,
to be
too soon.
spread. I
Too
know, I
soon.
know, I know.
Bill. Here we
Forgive
go.
me. Okay, and again, you'll probably I have three friends that have lost homes up in the Altadena
Oh
area,
man,
and uh, it's just words can't you can't say anything to these people to make them feel better.
Mm,
Okay,
nothing.
but again, I'm jumping ahead. I'll jump back to that. I'm getting off. I got to focus here. Anyway, we did this. Our first show was about 5 years to the day, maybe a little
Right.
later, maybe in March of
It
20.
was, I will tell you when it was. It was
Okay,
April
all
1st
right.
of 2020. April
April
Fool's Day.
Fool's Day. Well, there, no wonder.
Just
No wonder I'm doing this thing. All right, how fitting. All right.
and and
So,
and, all- and the world had shut down. We didn't know what we
mhm.
were doing. I started doing this podcast, not knowing, just kind of experimenting. And then I said, you were like, we need a guest on. I said, you know what? Let's bring this guy, Bill Barr. Let's just start talking. And away we went. That's how it all
Mhm.
started. In April.
I was your weekly Wednesday guest, the
Yes.
Wednesday weigh-in. Is that what you called it?
The weekly Wednesday weigh-in with Bill Barnes. We put
Yeah, it's
together
kind of like
about 2 years
sounds
of
like a
good stuff.
WWE show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we did that for a while and then it kind of tapered off and then we went our separate ways, but we've always kind of done them, every few months or so, but we've not done one in about 2 years was my
Yeah.
calculation. But anyway, here we are. Um, I'm doing some different things. I'm up in the Pacific Northwest right now, kind of the TDY, temporary duty assignment. I've been here off and on for the last since October. Either come up for a 16-day deployment or a 30-day. I fell into this job. I don't really want to go into real detail of what it is. Not that it's that big of a deal. Trust me, it's not. But we don't want to really advertise what we do. But
Sure.
I just fell into this thing, man. It was crazy. I got a phone call on a Wednesday, and the guy asked me if I was still interested in doing it. I said, sure. He goes, when can you get up here? I said, hey, when do you need me? He goes, yesterday. I said, okay. I said, send me a plane ticket. I'll be there as soon as possible. So that was a Wednesday, and I flew up on a Friday, and I started on Saturday. So
Wow.
it has to do with what I used to do. It has to do with risk management. That's a fancy word for another really, something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. We can
Use your
connect.
imagination.
We can
Yeah,
connect the dots there.
connect the dots on there. It's not rocket science. And I work every day. I'm up here every day. I have no days off. And it's an 8-hour commitment every day. And I'll give you one funny story. and I'm going to be kind of sketchy on it. I don't want to give away too much, but I told my two bodyguards, these two big Samoan dudes I work with, JR and Manu, that I would give a shout out to them on the show. If and when I did another podcast, I told them, I said, I'm going to give you guys a shout out. I'm going to keep you big lugs happy. All right. So especially JR loves all this stuff. So Manu could probably care less, but JR, this is mostly for JR. So my last day of my deployment, back in, this would have been about a week before Christmas. I had to come in at 3:30 a.m. and relieve the guy that was going home that morning. He had an early flight. So I come in at 3:30 a.m. I take one step into this place, and they put out a call that there's a person in the place that's being unruly. So usually I really don't have to, walk to these kind of calls, but I figured, what the heck? I'm here. I might as well, get woken up. So I see the two big Samoans walk into it, and I said, I'm going to jump in with these guys. And I'm glad I did. So as we're walking in, I could hear this guy screaming from the lobby area where we were. This is 3:30 in the morning. So we walk in, we go through these doors, and standing there is an elderly gentleman, probably in his 80s, kind of a large guy, looked like he'd probably been a real formidable sized guy back in his day, because he still was. And he had his clothes off. He was completely naked. And he's screaming and yelling, and all of the staff there kind of, quivering, not knowing what to do. And so the two Samoans walk up, JR on one side, Manu on the other, and they each grab an arm, and the guy spins, right? He spins and tries to do this circle leg kick at me, because I'm standing there. And I see it coming, so I kind of do this little whiz-bang move to where I kind of, do a little move and escape the kick. And as I do this, I'm going to be as kind as I can with this. I see the fact that this gentleman is naked.
Oh,
and
man.
Yeah. And
Bill.
Use your imagination. Okay.
That's better. That's better.
Whatever they were giving this guy, I want some. Okay. Because most 80-year-old men, that is a complete and utter dream. Okay. For a 65-year-old man, that is a complete and utter dream. And I looked at this one person, and she told me what his ailment was. And I said, okay, shocking. I go, whatever you're giving him, I want some. And it took a great many of us to restrain this guy and, put him to sleep. And so, again, that's one of the stories. And I said and JR and Manu, great job. I'm glad they were with me, because they're kind of like my bodyguards. And, I feel like I'm a wrestling manager with the Wild Samoans, when we do stuff. So they're both great guys. I love them both. And, I get to see them every day that they're there, and we have a good time. So anyway, that's my story.
Roid rage. It wasn't roid rage. It was something other kind of rage.
I don't know what it was, man. But it was game on.
Yeah. So your boys there, it sounds like guys you love walking on a field with, type of guys, for those umpires
I
out there listening.
I would walk through pretty much any type of angry area with those guys. They're yeah. They're
nice.
They're both, one of them's a very good sized human being. The other one is about my height, but he is about as wide and as strong as two refrigerators put together. So I know when I'm with them that everything is going to turn out really, really well.
Beautiful. Gotta love that.
And the other folks there are great. They're great people too, but I usually have, workings and dealings with these lads, and they do a great job, as does everybody. But anyway, onward and upward. Where do we go now?
Yeah,
I feel like Joe Biden. Okay, what do you want me to say now?
Oh man, there we go. Yeah, we missed most of that presidency with our shows here. But thank God it's almost over. But anyway, Bill, you got to be up in the Northwest. I mean, you can't do any of this stuff down in Southern California, where you still live.
No, this is a specific area up here that is, Yeah, they're their own
Understood.
little, private Idaho up here. So,
Understood. Well, there's a lot to
and
cover, but we
yeah.
should talk.
Anyway, go ahead.
We should hit the kind of the current situation going on. Bill, I know you're San Fernando Valley, I guess is where
Mhm,
you're at, if you don't mind me saying
mhm.
that. LA adjacent, and so
Yeah, the only place that hasn't been burned yet, Chatsworth.
yeah, yeah.
And who knows? It could, as we're talking right now, some son of a bitch could be lighting a fire right now. I have no idea.
Well, let's
I mean,
let's pun
it's
intended light it
crazy.
up. Here we go. This is Bill. What we've seen the past few days. It seems like we get together during crisis. It's kind of like, all right, we
Yeah.
need to start going here.
Mhm, mhm.
But here we are, a few years later. I mean, what we've seen the past week, these LA fires and everything. It's just it looks like something out of a movie, man. Go ahead, have at it with the craziness.
I have only seen. Obviously, I'm not there. Okay. Now, obviously, if things go bad and things get really, really ugly at the house, I will jump on the first plane and I'll get down there. Okay. But I am not needed at this point, and I probably wouldn't be needed if things went. I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to jump in front of the fire? Jump in front of the truck? Come on, no. I mean, what can you do? I'm completely useless, other than getting in Donna's way and getting her pissed off, which I can do that anytime,
You're a pro.
anyway. I don't need a fire to do that. Okay.
You are a
So
pro.
with that said, um, I've seen the devastation on TV. I've seen it on social media, video, et cetera, et cetera. What we have is, I mean, this is going to sound like a broken record, and everybody's heard it. An epic, epic fail on the part of one Mr. Gavin Newsom and his sycophant follower, Karen Bass. Let me just say this about the mayor. I personally, I've never met her. Obviously, I don't know who, she, just from what I've heard and what I've seen, I can't help but think she's a nice lady. Okay, I don't think she's the evil, uh, vindictive, horrible human being that Gavin Newsom is. This, sociopath that he is. Okay, I think Karen Bass down deep is a nice lady, terribly, terribly uh, inefficient at what she does. Okay. I don't, she should not be in politics. Okay. She um, is nothing but a ribbon cutter. She does not do any type of decision making. She's just a figurehead. And it all came to light when she went to Ghana to celebrate the presidency of the president of Ghana. Now, good for her. If she went on her own vacation time, I would say stay there. In fact, even on the LA dime, stay there. Okay. You are of no good here. You are just completely useless. However, she's a very nice lady. All right. I'll give her that. If maybe there's something else in life she can do. I know at one time, I think she was like a nurse practitioner, if I'm not mistaken. And she probably did that very well. I just don't think, I think she's over her skis as a mayor. And she takes leads from people that are getting her in trouble. And we'll circle back to that in a second. Let me now touch on Newsom. This guy is in the pockets, or the green. I believe they're called the Radical Green. They are an offshoot of the Sierra Club, Greenpeace, and all these other whack job, climate change whack jobs that think that unless we clean up the ocean and clean up the coast and quit, fossil fuel, et cetera, the world's coming to an end. Well, I'm certainly not a scientist, but I did some research, and the sun has been lit for about, I don't know, 6 billion years. All right. And during that 6 billion years, I'd be willing to bet there's been a climate or two change, one or two climate changes during that time. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to keep shining for another 4.5 billion years. All right. And I imagine there'll be one or two more after this one, if this in fact is one. So why are these idiots narcissistic enough to think that the world may come to an end if we don't, uh, save the fish up there in the delta that they paid Newsom to divert water from Canada, from the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, to flow down to Southern California so we could have the water to fight these fires. They paid him a very handsome amount of money to divert that water into the Pacific Ocean. Okay, that's a proven fact. I'm not pulling that out of my ass. That is fully well documented, and everybody knows that. All right. Besides that, he has ignored any type of forest maintenance, any type of mountain, maintenance of the forest, of all the shit that's fallen off the trees that's dried now that acts like kindling to fuel these fires. Let me just give you a little bit of a Boy Scout. And I was never a Boy Scout, but I can figure this out. Okay. All right. If I had a big backyard or a small backyard or a medium-sized backyard, it doesn't matter. I can have a patio deck. But if I have a tree back there and the leaves fall and all the little brush falls and there's a pile of debris back there mixed in with God knows what else, and somehow some transient comes by and lays in there and decides to hit his crack pipe, and he falls asleep and the crack pipe lights the debris on fire, lights my tree on fire, lights my neighbors on fire. Bad shit's going to happen. All right. Now, if my backyard's clean of no leaves and no debris and no, boxes of El Pollo Loco chicken remains in my backyard, okay, and everything's clean, the transient with the crack pipe comes, lays down, falls asleep. He's probably just going to roll over on the thing and burn himself. All right. It's going to be a lot harder to ignite my tree, to burn my neighbor's tree. And when you add in 100-mile-an-hour wind and 80-mile-an-hour wind, bad shit's going to happen. Okay. And I guarantee you, there's two things that light fires: bad infrastructure, such as bad wiring, old wooden poles, and the homeless that are smoking and building fires and doing stupid shit that they don't care about because they don't own anything. They have no network of people. Everybody in their life has signed off on them, and that's why they're homeless. That's why they're on the streets. All right. Therefore, they don't give a shit. They don't care. And you see what's happened. The LA Fire Department, probably 50 to 60%, probably even higher, of their fire calls mixed in with, and I'll even say it's higher, mixed in with a homeless guy, gorking out and spazzing out on a sidewalk. Probably 70 to 75% of their calls are for homeless related incidents, such as medical assist or fires. Now, this is where Karen Bass comes in, where she's a dipshit, okay? And her city council is a dipshit. Everybody in city government is a dipshit that runs that city. They're all woke. They're all into DEI. They're into not giving a shit about anything but themselves and giving to the people that are their constituents, which are a bunch of fucking losers, okay? They don't care about the people, obviously, in Ranchos Palos Verdes. They don't care about the people in Brentwood. They don't care about the people in Granada Hills, Altadena, which is not even in the city of Los Angeles. That's in Pasadena, but they're a casualty of this thing. They don't care, okay? You saw how, I don't know if you remember about a year ago, where they had that fire under the I-10 freeway. Okay. That was caused by a fucking transient. I guarantee it was. All right. But they covered that up. They tried to say it was an auto backfire or some damn, who knows what they came up with, but it was 100% bullshit. It was a transient, because that's what transients do. They don't care. They have no regard for anything other than their miserable minute to minute life. And they don't care. They don't clean up after themselves. Obviously, they shit their pants. They walk around with soiled clothes for days upon days. They don't care. All right. Do you think they want to extinguish their cigarette the proper way? Hell no. It gets extinguished by burning down a freeway. And then the city government, because they're embarrassed, because they haven't dealt with the problem. They cover this shit up to cover them. Okay, that's the same fucking thing they've done with these fires out in West LA. Okay, now let's go to the fire department. All right, you have three lesbians running that fire department, and I'm going to call them lesbians. You know why? Because they promote themselves as lesbians, and their number one priority in that fire department is DEI. They even have an assistant chief who runs the DEI Office of Equity. You've got a fire person running that instead of going out there and dragging hoses and pulling people out of a building. She's doing this shit. Okay, why? Matt, why?
I don't know, man. I don't
Because
know.
because this virtue signaling bullshit is allowed, and it's being flaunted, and now obviously it's blowing up in their face because people are pissed, obviously. Not just angry guys like me. Now you
Yeah.
got here. Now you got the Hollywood elites who were throwing their money and throwing their love at Gavin Newsom, and now that their houses are burned down, which is a horrible thing. I don't, you know what? I don't wish that upon anybody, man.
Anybody? No. No
Anybody.
matter
Not
who.
even not even my. Well, I have one enemy I wouldn't mind, but I'm not going to go there. But
Say, yeah.
no, that's bull. No. And now all of a sudden they're pissed, and rightfully so. So, you've got this. They knew that there's been fires every year. There's a fire, two or three. Okay, but it's never been to this magnitude, because when you keep letting the brush build and you don't fill your water tanks and your fire hydrants don't work, then when bad shit happens and you can't extinguish the bad shit, now the blowback is on you, Mr. Newsom, Miss Bass. And now let me introduce the uh, director of the LADWP. She makes $775,000 a year, checking water meters, or making sure that her people check water meters and gas meters. Okay.
Water,
All right.
water would be nice.
Yeah. So she's in charge of the water situation. She's in her shop is in charge of checking the fire hydrants, which they have neglected to do. Therefore, you've got dripping fire hydrants and no water, and you saw the results the other day. All right. It's a bad situation. It's really bad. And now you've got all these fires going on. It started with one, and then it went to Altadena, and that one was just a horrible situation.
Mm.
And then, quite coincidentally, a couple of weeks ago, there's some insurance companies that just abruptly canceled fire insurance on these homes. Okay, no fire insurance. So these homeowners got caught with no insurance, and I think the insurance companies were saving their ass. They knew that this idiot moron governor was neglecting the forest, not having his people go out there and rake it, and they decided, we need to cut bait because something bad's going to happen, and we're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And they did. And they're business people, they're smart folks, and they, in their eyes, did the right thing to save their ass. Okay. And if I were in their shoes, I wouldn't blame them. Okay. Now, I mentioned the insurance, and you've got, it's just a snowball of bad things.
Yeah.
And we have not seen the height of the anger yet. You wait. Like, you sent me Adam Carolla's podcast. I had seen it earlier. He's an ex-construction guy, so he knows what he's talking about. He used to swing a hammer. And he spelled out the fact that the city of Los Angeles are a bunch of Nazis when it comes to getting building permits.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything. It's a gridlock of complete nonsense. You can't get, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 years before you even get a permit to build. Okay. And these people, everybody there'll be more of a mass exodus out of that place.
Isn't it crazy? Did I hear the numbers right, Bill? It's been like 10,000 homes.
Yes,
10,000? That
that's
is
right. And that's 3 days into it, 4 days into it. It'll go up. And
that's
and the
insane.
ones that are still standing, you're gonna have to condemn them.
Well, and what's crazy is you see, when we usually have fires, okay, you see the houses up on the hills and everything, and that's a tragedy as well. But it like for it to spill down in the palace, like where there's so many houses tight together. I
That's
mean,
why, yeah, that's why you had that wind that night. I mean, fires don't start by themselves, okay? That there wasn't a spark of a rock hitting a aluminum pole that started that. That is bullshit, okay? That was a homeless person out there rolling around in their own feces with a crack pipe, and shit happened, okay? And it was at the right place, wrong time, wrong windstorm, boom. Now you got a flash fire, all right? Now you got a flash fire. Now, you also had one on the Hollywood Hills that they extinguished pretty quick. That had to be, I mean, I guarantee these things are arson, man. There's no way there's just the flashpoint of these things have got to be arson. Now, these embers will travel a long way and they'll catch something. Yeah, some of these fires could have been sparked by the original fire. I get it. All right. But you're going to see there's a lot of copycat assholes out there that are out torching shit. And I was thinking about this. You've got the transients, which is a problem. Okay, that's what I was going to get to. Those two problems, the bad wiring, bad poles, and homeless. If you really wanted to, if you were a progressive, not left progressive, but a common sense, take care of your community progressive mayor and city council, you would take care of this homeless problem. You would take care of it. They have let this thing get out of control. They have let this thing just go directly to a bad place with the homeless. You can take care of that. You can warehouse them. You can get them off the street. There's plenty of old dilapidated buildings in that place. Yeah, I mean, this
well,
sounds barbaric, but shit, you house them somewhere. And until
so
they got their shit together, they don't come out. And
you and I have had these.
you slide food under the door, and you treat them like stray dogs.
Well, you and I have had this conversation before in our many different discussions, and back to like when you used your former line of work and everything, and what you guys would do, and I see it on a daily basis with what I do. Like a lot of times, cops will come and they'll tell someone to move a few streets over or whatever, and that seems to fix the problem, but it doesn't. So, yeah, Bill, if you were king for a day, mayor for a day, whatever, I mean, how do we can complain all we want? What are some realistic solutions to this issue among the many issues here in Southern
Well,
California?
well, back in the mid '80s, late '80s, when I was working, even into the '90s, you had some guy at a street corner, you know, spazzing out and being violent and being a problem, a menace to the community. We'd rope them up and take them to an insane asylum, all right, or get them a 72-hour hold somewhere. Those days are over because of number one, and I hate to say this because I love the guy. Ronald Reagan shut down um, institutions back in the '80s when he became president. He kind of unfortunately was the spark who started letting these people out, and it's taken on a whole mind of its own since. There has not been a resolution to it. And now that you had the Democratic leadership in this state releasing criminals early, releasing drug
Mm,
addicts,
mm.
it takes. I mean, you have to basically kill somebody, and it has to be witnessed for you to go to jail now. Or else,
Yeah.
if you do go to jail, you get a traffic ticket and you're promised to appear, which is crazy because you're not coming, and you go and you slip into the apocalyptic underground, and you become one of them. You become some night crawler somewhere. And it's to the point where we have, the results now in the last 4 days. You've seen the results. Okay. My other theory, and this is going to sound completely like I've been reading, like I've got,
I don't think it will.
a tin can hat with like I've been like way too much time on my hands. All right. Now, I alluded to the green radicals. Okay. These lunatic, psychopathic, um, uh, climate change people. These are the folks, okay, that went to college, they got their degree in ethnic studies or urban decay or some stupid degree that will only get you a job as a substitute teacher or a cafeteria worker or something to that effect where you can't do shit with it. All right. It's not a business degree. It's worthless. So you can't do anything anymore. Now you're upset. Now you're pissed. It's the same jackasses with degrees like that who Joe Biden forgave loans on or had us pay them. Okay, rather. So what do they turn to? They turn to some radical group like that group. And their job now is to either A, go out and create havoc with the food supply, which these folks want to create havoc in. That's why eggs are now $27,000 for a dozen because they've infected, they've helped with the bird flu and all that shit. Okay. There's human involvement in that. All right. We learned from the pandemic, Matt, and I should have listened to you, but I didn't. I was a dumbass.
Ooh, I like this part. Go ahead.
Yeah. I should have listened to you. We were all brainwashed into getting the jab. Okay. You never did you?
No.
Good for you. Good for you. And you're still living. In fact, you look better now than you did then. All right. Okay. I got two of them. And then by that time I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not doing it anymore.
What was the point for you where, because you were adamant about it for a minute and you're older than me, of course, but what was the moment where you were kind of
because I had trust in my government. I had trust in the fact that these guys came up with something that may help us. I had
those 3 words. Well, come on.
I know.
Come on, coach.
And now I know. Dumbass me. All right. My bad. All right. I went hook, line, and sinker. The hook was in my mouth. Okay. Me bad. I take full responsibility for my level of complete dumbassery. Okay. To put it bluntly. Now,
Donna, are you listening to this? Bill can apologize. Did you hear this? Can you hear this? I mean, we got to make sure we don't edit this part out.
Dude, she's 1,000 miles away. She's not here.
She might hear this though at some point,
She will. She will. Oh yeah.
We have it on recorded record that Bill Barnes does have a heart, and he apologizes every now and then.
Well, I've apologized many times to her, and I get told where to stick my apology, so I don't do it anymore because it does no good.
Well done.
So anyway, so these are the guys that are, I think, and now that in about 10 days from now, we're gonna have a new sheriff in town. Okay, and his name's Donald Trump. All right, and I hope to God he's gonna go in and start kicking the shit out of people that need to have the shit kicked out of them. All right. So they're getting their last bit of leaving the apartment filthy before they move out time. All right. Like Biden is giving a presidential medal of freedom to Hillary Clinton and Soros. Are you fucking kidding me?
Unbelievable, man.
Obviously that man is a puppet. He always has been. He'll probably be dead in 2 or 3 years, and he doesn't give a shit. Okay, he's on his way out. He's the guy that he's getting evicted from the rental home, and he's kicking in the walls, and he's putting holes in the ceiling, and he's just fucking it up for the new tenant, which will be Donald Trump. Okay, and we're the ones that are paying for it. Just like I think this green group is partly responsible, maybe fully responsible. I don't know. I have nothing. It's just a hunch. I have no proof, no nothing. I have no intel on it whatsoever, other than the fact that they're a bunch of radical lunatics that will stop at nothing to get their way. Yeah. And if burning down a city with a bunch of in a rich area, tries, does anything for their point that, oh, look what's going on. Climate change is just torching the place. No, you dumbass. You got assistance from a stupid governor and a completely clueless mayor. All right. Now, I'll let you comment on this. I know I've kind of commandeered your show, and I apologize for that.
Good,
But I'll
good.
let
Have
you.
at it.
I want your comments, and then I'm going to go into my idea for a resolve on this program, on this little faux pas coming up.
Sure. I think when you look at the fires, it's a tragedy, of course, and I've had family affected, and everything, but it makes you wonder, man, that you talk about conspiracy theories, and at this point in my life, all the things I've seen the past few years, like I will at least listen. I
Mhm.
listen to what someone has to say. I won't write them off, because so many conspiracy theories became conspiracy realities over the past few years. And for me, I'll throw just a few out there. I do believe we landed on the moon. I do believe the Earth is not flat. I'm not that guy. I think the JFK assassination, there was a little more to it,
There's a
or
lot more to it.
a
There's a
lot more
lot more
to
to
it.
it.
So I believe in
Absolutely.
some. I believe in some, and others I'm like, all right, that's too much for
Let
me.
me let me tell you what it done. Let me stop on the JFK. I was going to bring that up, and I'm glad you touched on it.
Let's do it.
Up until a few years ago, I was the dumbass that thought Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Boy, I'm an idiot. I should have every piece of police type stuff pulled from me.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not worried. That's just absolutely stupid. What the fuck was I thinking? I should have never. I should never be allowed to ever think like a cop again, thinking that this country wasn't capable of killing their own president. Okay, he had a list of people that
Hmm.
wanted him dead. Okay, now again, I'm gonna get a little crazy here with this one,
Sure.
but the mafia wanted him dead. Okay, and by the way, speaking of the mafia, and this is not, I'm not pulling this out of my ass either. This is fact. This is fact. Nancy Pelosi's father was a shot caller, big time mafia guy in Baltimore, Maryland. She was the daughter of a mafia, you know, kingpin. Look how she runs her business, just like the mafia.
Yeah.
The Democratic Mafia Party from California, and her nephew, you know, Gavin, he's right in bed with the whole thing too. Um, she's just a vicious, evil person that needs to go away, and horrible human being. And rumor had it. Now, this is where rumor is. Okay, is that she was one of John Kennedy's little sweethearts that would come into the White House and they'd go swimming together. That's rumor. I don't know if it's true, and I'm not saying they did anything. Maybe she was there for him to mentor. I don't know. Okay, I know she was a pretty young woman back then. She was probably in her early 20s, maybe. Um, so maybe that rubbed old man Pelosi the wrong way. Or
Never
whatever her
know.
name was back then. It wasn't Pelosi. She took her old man's name. Whatever her name was then. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So the CIA wanted him dead. The Cubans wanted him dead, and Lyndon Johnson wanted him dead. So here's the thing. He went to Dallas one day in the open Lincoln Continental, Cadillac, whatever the hell it is, waving and all that. Just what if, you had two or three of those factions that all came to the dance to dance with the same girl, and you
Just
had,
so happened that.
and just so happened you had the CIA guys, the tramps as they called them, up by the train tracks, and then you had Lee Harvey up in the bookstore, and then maybe some other people around. And they went, oh shit, we're not the only ones here. And then you had Jack Ruby as the cleaner,
See,
and he went in
see
and
that.
gut shot Oswald in front of the whole nation, while the Dallas police let him walk in and do it.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. That's where I
Okay.
gets a little bit much for me when
If
it's
that's
like
not an
it
or
seems
if
too
that's not
it
yeah,
seemed too organized.
it's an orchestrated event.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it was, oh, you're here, we're here, let's do this together. I think it was thought out, planned out. Every detail was covered basically, except for some
Or
that.
they were there just as a decoy, as who knows what. I mean, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know that part. I
look over
don't know,
here,
but
look over here. Yeah.
I do know that was just a major conspiracy where you had many, many, many people involved, and Gerald Ford, former President Gerald Ford, the ultimate team player, was on the Warren Commission. Okay. And here's a guy that you talk about coronation. We talk shit about Kamala Harris. Gerald Ford never voted in as vice president. Gerald Ford never voted in as president. And when he ran for president, Don Knotts himself, Jimmy Carter, beat him.
Yeah.
So what does that say about the guy?
Sounds straight out of House of Cards, Frank Underwood stuff
Right.
there.
Yeah. So they threw Jerry the bone. Hey, Jerry, you're a team player, man. You went along with it. You went with the script on what we wanted.
Sure.
Single gunman. You were a pulling guard at the University of Michigan back in the day. You took a couple hits on your head,
Yeah.
but you're the team player, man. You're out there blocking for us. We're gonna reward you one day.
Hail the victors! Hail the
Absolutely.
victors, Jerry.
Yes. Yeah.
But on like the conspiracy front,
I mean,
like,
crazier things could happen, right?
oh, no doubt. Like I've heard, and everyone's freaking out over the fires, and then people are saying, "Oh, you shouldn't politicize it with the comments you're making." I'm like,
You have
no,
to.
no, no,
You
no.
have
We're
to.
past that because
You're way
anytime
past
there's,
that.
oh man, anytime there's a shooting, oh, guns are evil, blah blah blah. Anytime there's this or that, it's like, no, no, no. We let you guys try your little experiment for a long time. And this whole DEI thing is going to make us DIE if we're not careful. So, but like
Yes.
the fires, Bill, you talked about the homeless. That I've heard some conspiracy theories that make me go, huh, that's not so far fetched. That maybe there's some
Yeah.
uh, assassins out there from other
Mhm.
countries that know fires, and they're like, hey, we know when the wind's gonna pick up, and let's go burn a city. Different types of terrorism exist now that we could have ever
Absolutely.
imagined. So
Absolutely.
drones, fires. We don't know what's
And
coming
and
these
here's
days.
the thing. Speaking of drones. We've never gotten received an explanation on why they were what these drones are all about. Okay,
Yeah.
we've never. Could it be our own people doing experiments, doing studies? I hope that's the case, and they just wanted to keep it quiet. And once uh, Biden's done, Trump will get a briefing on that. Whether they lie to him or not, he'll get the truth somehow. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping it was our own friendly people up there, but who knows? I cannot fathom if it was someone other than us, why some type of intervention wasn't done to bring those sons of bitches down.
Oh my goodness. Of course. I mean, yeah, it's a scary thought. We were both avid Bongino listeners, and the
Mhm.
things he's talking about with all this, it's like this is scary stuff. Like they can,
Yeah.
if you let them experiment, like they could take someone out. I mean, we almost saw the president elect assassinated many, many months ago, Bill. We didn't get
Mhm.
to talk about that. I mean,
No.
that was an iconic moment in the summer that it was just like, wait, I never thought we'd see this. And when that happened, that was it for me. I said, you know what? I'm not scared of wearing this red hat anymore.
No.
I'm throwing it on, and I was
Mhm.
all in at that point. I'm like, screw you people, screw everyone. I'm not afraid. That's our guy. You took a shot at him, and I'm not standing for it. So, I mean, an assassination attempt, Bill, since the first one since Reagan, right?
Okay, and let's dive into that a little bit. All right, I know
Yeah.
it's old news, six
Let's
months ago,
go.
7 months ago, but you had a DEI Secret Service director who was about as
Mhm.
worthless as a Stater Brothers checker. Okay, all right, that's about her you know her pay grade, her intelligence grade. She can ring up groceries. In fact, I'm insulting Stater Brothers employees right now. This
Yes,
woman
you
was
are.
fucking worthless. Okay, fucking worthless. She probably couldn't even carry an ammo bag. Okay, why? And she was placed there because she was friends with Jill Biden when she was on Joe's detail when he was vice president, I believe. Okay, complete dipshit, complete ignorant dumbass. Period. End of story on that. She was the director. She had no clue, none. Half of that detail that day were customs agents and locals. All right. Um, he, as a former president, has his own detail, and as a candidate, should have the crew beefed up as well. It was not.
There's
Okay.
so much about that day that does not
How
add
did
up.
that kid get on the fucking roof like that with no detection whatsoever
There's
until he
nothing
fired?
else out there. It was like the only building with.
Right. And you had citizens going, "Hey, Mr. Policeman. Hey, Mr. Secret Service man. Hey, there's a guy up there. Looks like he has a rifle." And the radios, you know, they might as well have had coffee cans with string on them. Okay. The communication was dog shit. Okay. My whole thing was, I've worked on those details before as a cop, not
Yeah.
obviously that but I guarded the elevator twice of both Bush and Cheney in the Mission Inn years ago. Okay. Back then, those guys were dialed in, no stone left unturned. You had to have your little pin on. In my case, I was in uniform, and they looked. I mean, those guys were Inspector, gadgets, man. No bullshit got past them, and I don't know where that organization has gone, other than straight to hell. And I hope they come back. Okay, Bongino's basically said the same thing, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He
How
says you can't
fucked up
trust
they are.
anyone in it. Well,
No,
he can't
no,
trust. I mean, he's
right.
got his sources, but
Yeah.
that whole thing is just weird, Bill. And then the women with their guns, standing in front, losing, can't even grab their gun out and stuff. I'm just like,
Okay.
it brings up a point, Bill, with like you have obviously worked with many fine people. You've worked with some, many not so fine people, of both genders, all races, yeah, all these things. It's like we put such an emphasis now on really everything, but as far as who you worship, who you lay down with, what you look like, none of that matters. We've gotten so far away in security, firefighting, pretty much everything out there that, oh, we need to check a box. And it's like, why don't we just try to get the best person for the job? I mean, we can all agree that prejudice, I mean, at one time, I'm sure things were really, really bad where that people didn't get a chance, but it's illegal to like discriminate and stuff now. So like, let's just get the best people out there.
Why can't we all take the attitude of the Notre Dame coach?
Oh, Marcus Freeman. Hey, I do not like Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but I do now. Yeah, I'm a fan of his for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know it verbatim. You probably do. Repeat for our listening audience what he said
Well,
when
he
asked.
he was addressed last night about after the big win against Penn State, which was a heck of a game, by the way. They said, "Hey, you're the first black coach to advance coach in the national championship. What's that mean?" And basically, he didn't dismiss it, but he said, it's just great that anyone different guys, the right people get the opportunities who earned it. And it's just like, this means so much. I never want to take anything away from my guys. It's about them. And, I heard some great comments that like, he's half Asian and half black. And there's no mention of, him being Asian. So I'll throw it out there. We need more Asian coaches as well. So, no, I mean, I don't care. Again, it's all about winning. And I think we can all agree in sports anyway. That's how we should approach things. It doesn't matter what you look like or any of these things. It's like, do you deliver results? And Marcus Freeman absolutely does, and so many other great coaches out there.
Right, right. Mike Tomlin,
I would do it, man. If I played for that guy, I would run through a brick wall for that guy.
Right,
man.
Right. And so there are exceptions that don't play that card, and God bless them, because you don't need to. If you're good, you don't need to. If I'm a lesbian, and I come and I say, I am the first lesbian fire chief of the city of Los Angeles. Why can't I say I am now the fire chief of Los Angeles? I am promoting the fact that because I'm a lesbian, I am a lesser of anyone else. So I have to preface that because I'm getting the chance and I'm not qualified as anybody else. You're going in playing a marker a little bit. And that is fucking bullshit, Matt. At any job. I don't care if you're flipping burgers at Burger King. I want the best burger flipper there is. Okay? Now,
yeah.
Okay. Um, how many how many male OBGYN uh uh labor and delivery nurses do you see? The ones that are actually catching the kid. How many male
I
do
don't
you
know.
see? Okay. Why can't I be the first male labor and delivery nurse?
Bill, you can do anything you set your mind to, Bill.
Okay. I could, but that would go over like a a turd in church. Okay. That ain't gonna happen. Number one, I'm white. I'm a white male and I'm a dinosaur. Okay. We're done. We're done. We're gonna make a comeback now that Donald Trump's president. We're gonna make a comeback. All right. You know, but up until 2 years ago, a year ago, we might as well just go, jump off a building because we're done. We're the most evil bastards in the world. You know,
You're the devil.
the world's passed us by. We've screwed everything up, which is not
Yeah,
true.
no,
Not true.
no, it's so interesting when these conversations come up. First of all, I'm always like, these conversations don't happen with me and my friend. Usually we're all making fun of each other, teasing each other. Yeah, there might be some jabs in there about backgrounds and things, but it's never serious. It's
No,
it's all in good fun. The things I get
you know,
called, I'm
like
like, oh man,
our boy Fast Freddy. You
Fast Freddy,
know,
the Peruvian prince.
okay, he needs he. They need to bring back that show called Cash Cab. Okay, and
Yeah.
he needs to be the driver. Go out and rent yourself a minivan, pile in all their passengers, ask them questions. The last one in there, if they miss the big bonus question, your punishment is to sit in the van with Freddie and have Freddie tell you what a idiotic moron piece of crap you are for the next 30 minutes because he's really good at doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He
Okay.
he great job on social media and
Yeah.
such. I know he
Yeah.
very much looking forward to this show.
He is very articulate. Whoa, hey now.
Hey, there we are,
Um,
Bill. There we go.
Okay, here we go. We got this. I got a fancy deal here. All right. So um, I lost my train of thought with
Monte
the.
Blanco, Fast Freddy, Fast
Yes,
Freddy.
yes, Fast Freddy. Very articulate, and now that the censors are off Facebook, he's gonna have a field
Oh,
day.
oh yeah. It's just like this is like can't even. Yeah, it's like out of captivity. Fred Monteblanco.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was the whole
and
reason. The
good
whole
for him,
Facebook. Yeah,
and good for him, and
if
good
you
for him.
absolutely. What do you make of
Yeah,
that, Bill? We heard. I think that broke today. Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan talking about how the Biden administration, again, a conspiracy theory. They're not doing this. They would
he's
never.
he's
The
like a
Biden
cat.
administration told Facebook, you got to take
Mhm,
this stuff down. We don't
mhm,
like it.
right,
Censor everybody.
and he did it. He did it, didn't he?
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's why I'm kind of like some of these guys like Zuckerberg. Okay, you're doing the right thing now, but I'm kind of cautious about guys like him because I'm like, what took so long? Now, did you just wait to see
Well, I'll give you my
which way the
theory
wind's
on that.
blowing?
Yes, he does. He's your fair weathered friend. Okay. He's
Mm,
going to go whichever way
I
the
know a few of those.
administration goes. Okay. And
Hmm.
I once had a captain like that. We had a chief who was a like to go out and drink and party and raise hell. And this particular captain was a drinker and a party and a raise heller. Then our next chief came in and he was a Mormon. This guy turned Mormon. Okay. And then we had a chief who was all about dressing really nice and being this and being that and being accountable and just being, this and that. He went out and bought probably a $15,000 new wardrobe, and he was that guy. Okay. So there are guys like that will go whichever way they need to go, not have an ounce of principle in their an original thought in their mind at all. Now, again, Zuckerberg's a smart guy. Okay, I'm not giving him that. I am giving him that, but he's going to go which way he needs to go to keep what he has. You know,
Yeah.
so he is your fair weathered friend. He gets Dana White on board at Facebook, who, knowing Dana White, will be the bull in the china shop and tell him to go sit down and shut the fuck up. I'm running things now. If not, I'm gonna have one of my guys come over here and kick the shit out of you, or I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
So
I
what
mean,
do you
I
want to
just
bet?
look at it this way. There were so many things the past few years that I don't want to ever forget. Like now that, the tide has changed, the blue wall has fallen, the electoral college, the popular vote is all spoken freely. I don't want people to forget the things, the appalling things. I mean, how many times me, people like you, the horrible things we were called over the years because of who we voted for, or because
Mhm,
we didn't want to get something in our arm, because I
mhm,
didn't want to wear a mask. Well, you
mhm,
you hate people, you're a Nazi. It's like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. There's not there's not discriminating bone in my body. I don't know where you're throwing this stuff
mhm.
out from. So it's time to I don't know, reap the whirlwind, whatever the phrase is. Like, no, we are not letting people forget the horrible atrocities that occurred the past few years.
Since November 5th, I have been celebrating and been in elation that Donald Trump has once again obtained the presidency. Okay. He's got a really good staff this time. He's got great people. I think he learned the hard way the first time that people, underhanded him and went behind his back and screwed him over. I don't think this crew is going to do that. These are all handpicked great people that are loyal to him. And I think the one person that is keeping him in check, or has kept him in check, and reeled him back a little bit and said, "Hey, when you feel like sending out a mean tweet, give it to me first. I'm going to erase it because you're not going to send it. All right, or I'll doll it up and then you send it." Is his chief of staff. I can't remember her name other than the fact she's Pat Summerall's daughter. That's the thing that stuck in my mind. That woman is sharp. She's in the background. She doesn't like the limelight. She's there to keep him. She was the first person he chose to be on his staff as chief of staff. A chief of staff basically has to wear all kinds of hats and keep the staff in check. Make sure they're at a meeting, make sure they're here, they're up to date with whatever they need to do. Their tasks are on time. That woman is brilliant. And for Trump to hire her like that, and for her to take Trump and basically make sure that he dotted his I's, crossed his T's, and did everything he needed to do to win this thing, he did. The other brilliant move that got him to win, is he listened to his kid, Barron, told him to go on those podcasts
Oh
and reach
yeah,
the common people. That's what won him this.
times
That
have
is what
changed, Bill.
that is what won him convincingly. The Theo Von show, that Theo Von
Oh
kid
yeah.
is dialed in. He
Hmm.
came from a fucked up place and he's pretty sharp. Joe Rogan is just like a guy you're going to sit at a bar with, sit next to him at the bar, and sit there for 5 hours and talk about everything under the sun, and you're both, gonna change the world while you do it. That guy's great. He knows a little one or two things about everything. That's what I
Yeah.
like about him. You know, and he wanted to get Kamala on there, but
Oh yeah.
she would.
Open
What's
guy.
she gonna
Free.
What's she gonna talk about?
Well,
Her
she
her
wanted.
fa-
They wanted to. They wanted to know the questions, the topics, and
Yeah.
if he would
Well, yeah.
censor it or whatever.
No,
And so,
no, no,
no,
no.
just like the
What,
Get
what,
Home
what- what's
Safe
she going to
podcast,
talk
we
about?
don't
What's
we
she
don't
going to,
edit here.
we just go. We just go with it. Now, the other thing, what's she going to talk about? Her times with Montel Williams and Willie Brown? Come on.
How to get to the top, man. How to get to the
Well,
top.
she almost made it,
She almost
but
did.
the domestic abuser that she's with now, couldn't do much for her.
Yeah.
Doug. Hi, Doug. I'm Doug. I'm a dork. Nice to meet you. He's a dipshit. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's interesting, like you mentioned, Barrett, the modern, things change. Bill, you're, I just turned 40, by the way. You got to be pushing
I'm
73
so
now. Um,
okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mike Gilbert.
I mean, for 72, you look great. I gotta
I,
tell you. But
okay.
the point is,
I'm,
things
I'm I'm
change.
70. I'm 71. How's that? Look at this. The one.
Hey,
Six,
all right.
65. 65 and going strong.
65. Okay. All right.
65.
Look at
All
you.
right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, Barnesy.
Well,
Um, yeah. I gotta remember that.
I could have the big grab at any time. I could go down tonight, and I'd lay here and fester before somebody come in and kick the door and find me. All right.
Well, we
So
talked about
you
that.
never know.
Well, we talked about your sleep patterns. I'm keeping you up tonight, Bill, and you're telling me.
I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. I work every day I'm up here.
Oh,
I work every day, no days off, none. Okay. 4 a.m. Sometimes 4:15. Tomorrow morning, it's a Saturday.
same here.
Probably about 4:30, maybe. They're 4:35, but that's okay. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
That could come soon. What'd you talk? You used to say the cold black death, or as you lay down.
Cold blackness of death. The
Yes.
cold blackness of death.
Hey, when you're gone, in a couple of weeks, we will be rewatching this and all the other podcast episodes
Sure,
that
sure. Now,
you have.
I'm not really planning on checking out anytime soon. That's not in my plans. I'd kind of like to stick around for a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
But we're all one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You
one
never
pitch.
know.
Yeah.
You never know. Some airplane from SeaTac over here can get off course and come in and just level out the whole damn place.
That's
You
why
know.
every chance you got to blow it out. Every chance you get, Bill. It's like you got
Yeah,
to
I
live
mean,
live like there's no drive fast and take chances, as you often said.
every day, every day.
Yeah,
It's tough to drive up where I'm at, though, Matt. You can't drive fast. The
true.
traffic up here is worse than LA, and I'll tell you why. Because they don't have any room for expansion. Okay, you can go. I could probably go out right now at 10 o'clock at night, get on the freeway that's out here, and it's going to be bumper to bumper because there's too many people, not enough road. Too many people, not enough road, and there's nowhere to build. It is a quagmire of of liberals up here too that will give you a dirty look if you go over 45 miles an hour. So it's suffice to say I get a lot of dirty looks.
Oh well, you would do that anyway. I mean,
I really I enjoy it. I really do. Anytime I can piss off a liberal, my day is complete.
that's a full day
I
there
didn't
for
say a
sure.
Democrat. I didn't say a Democrat. I have a lot of Democratic friends
There's a
that are
difference.
starting to jump on the board. In fact, inside every Democrat, there's a Republican just dying to get out.
Well, how bad does it got to get is the thing. It's like you can
Right,
have all your fake
right.
policies or whatever, but when they don't work or they cause mayhem and chaos, then it's just like, all right,
I think we
can
should
we?
just dump the whole party system. Dump it. Matt Hersham is running against Bill Barnes. You don't know. I don't. And you don't have the R. I don't have the D, or vice versa.
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of what's going on now anyway.
And I think it
You know,
should be a law. It should be a law that you cannot refer to a person such as a black male. They're a male. Black, white has nothing to do with it. You can't say, um, I don't refer to them. That's not necessary. You want equality? We're all equal now.
well, and on that note, I mean, I hear you there, but that's also what uh, you could be the counter of that and say a lot of what we're doing is like you hear too much of that language where it's just
Mhm.
like, all right, they say a person instead of him, the different male, female categories of things. Now it's like, no, there is a difference. There
Mhm.
is a difference. You just don't judge people
Mhm.
according to characteristics they can't control. At least, it's the way I see it. So, but no, we are different. And yeah, like you don't fight in the same weight class. If you outweigh someone by 30 pounds or you're 20
Mhm.
years older, maybe, or, different rules and regulations apply. So, yeah, I think we got to be careful that way. But I hear what you're saying. That yeah, we do. I don't know. We're afraid to put people in a group or whatever, and it's just like, how can we just have good people and bad people? Lock up the bad people, if you know what I mean, the
Well, we do
criminals
have
and
good.
such.
We do have good people. We do have bad people. We don't lock up the bad people. Okay.
No, well, maybe
Sometimes,
for a day and
sometimes,
then bail.
sometimes we lock up the good people. And trust me, um, if if the blue had their way, Donald Trump would be locked up for a
Hmm.
stupid, idiotic reason,
They sure tried.
which is going to segue me into my latest idea.
Oh
And I
boy,
really hope something like this comes up. All right.
here we go.
there's a law called deliberate indifference. It can be tried federally at the state level. There, it also has civil remedy. Don't you think that Gavin Newsom is a prime suspect for a deliberate indifference charge?
Deliberate indifference. Okay.
All right. He deliberately uh, avoided having the forests clean after he was told to do it, after it had been a past practice for many, many years. He deliberately avoided that. He deliberately um, funneled water away from Southern California into the Pacific Ocean instead of filling it the reservoirs down here. He hasn't built a reservoir for water storage in the last like 14 years. Okay. He has completely failed at forest management, which has, and it's come back to bite him now.
Yeah.
In fact, in 2018, when there was a fire, he stood with Trump and Jerry
Jerry
Brown
Brown.
when uh, Newsom was the governor elect at the time. And Trump told him, you need to clean these forests. Boom, 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 boom. Great ideas. And I guarantee Newsom probably said to himself, well, that's a great idea, but he decided to think of it. So I'm not going to do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. I'm not going to do what this asshole tells me to do. All right. So you've had 6 years of deliberate indifference. And if I was king for the day, if I was going to be the new president in 10 days, I would immediately appoint a special prosecutor. I would immediately launch a federal investigation of federal agents that I could trust who are on my side. Okay. Not these dipshits that Biden had. In fact, this whole organization, the federal government needs to be cleaned, just like an enema. Okay. You need to blow them out, man. Just get rid of them, flush them down, flush the turds down the toilet, get rid of them. And let's do a deep dive into federal charges against one Mr. Gavin Newsom and arrest Bass along with it. Use her as a informant against him, and put
Ooh,
her under the hot white lights with
man.
with a couple of ball busting federal agents, and see her sweat, and she will give him up in a heartbeat. She will go into the drowning rat syndrome to save her ass like you would not believe, because
I
her career is dead. She'll be a
oh yeah.
one-term mayor. She's done. She's
Bill, I
done.
don't think she survives this. I think she
I was just going to
resigns.
say she may resign. You're absolutely correct. That was my idea too.
As this will only
Newsom,
be in a couple days, the more stuff comes out that this city was not prepared and where all the money and
somebody,
allocations
her,
went, someone's
her,
head's going for this.
her, or somebody's going to be the fall guy.
You can
The
you
fire,
can
the
you can
fire chief.
cry global warming all you want. That's not
No,
going to save you
no,
this
that's
time.
not going to cut it. The fire chief today I saw started pointing fingers at the city,
She
saying the
did.
city failed us. That would be the $775,000 a year broken English speaking director of the DWP, who's completely working out of her class. She's way above her pay grade as well as her bandwidth. She is fucking clueless. I saw her
Yeah.
give a press conference. I thought I was watching a kindergarten teacher on Olivera Street. Okay. And again, I shouldn't put down kindergarten teachers on Olivera Street. My aunt was a teacher on Olivera Street. So I apologize to her for that. But you see where I'm going with this. This woman's making $750,000 a year, and my trash can't get picked up on time half the
Wow.
time. And then they leave the garbage cans in the middle of the street, and I have to go out and get them.
Well,
Okay.
Bill, well, here's what people say. Well, why are you? I've spoken up a little bit more about some of this stuff, and you know what? I'm sorry, Bill. I saw when the whole COVID thing hit. Oh, it was Donald Trump's in charge. This is all his fault. Blah blah blah. So now the same people are gonna turn around, and not accept responsibility for what gone. Okay, act of God. Yes. Okay, fine. We'll play your game. Sure, fires, wind, that happens, but. Bill, I don't know about you. I'm assuming you do because of your background. I have probably a dozen, at least half a dozen, but maybe a full dozen group of guys that I know friends of mine, dear friends of mine, that have to go into those fires, and now fight these fires, which is already hard enough
Mhm.
without the resources,
Mhm.
without, I will say it, they've never told me this, but without the proper leadership, perhaps. Um,
Correct.
that's unacceptable and so yeah, I do have a right to voice my opinion because it affects people I care about.
We're paying their, I hate to sound like an asshole citizen, but we're paying their salary. We're the
Yeah,
taxpayers.
yeah,
Okay, let me say this about the Los Angeles Fire Department. Those are some of the best firemen, boots on the ground firemen in the world.
amen.
Okay, those guys do a phenomenal job. Guys and women that I've seen do a phenomenal job. The rescue paramedics, the firefighters themselves, the captains, the guys that roll from a firehouse are absolutely top notch, a number one human beings and firefighters that do a great job. You don't see 1 ounce of lazy in them. Those guys fucking work. All right. Now it's just too bad that the three bears running the show, the three lesbians, and I'm calling them that because that's what they want to be called, and I don't want to offend them. They are dog shit. Okay, terrible leaders.
Well,
They
one
might
of
be
the
nice
chief,
people.
one of the
I don't
was it
know.
wasn't the chief. One of them said, that with giving their commercial about how we need people who
Yeah.
look like the victims or whatever. And well, if someone accuses me of not being able to carry their husband out, well, their husband shouldn't have put themselves in that situation. It's like,
Yeah.
what did you just say?
Whoa, whoa,
Are
whoa, whoa,
you
whoa. You should be fired for that statement.
fired, not
Fired
promoted,
immediately.
fired,
Not promoted, not demoted, not saying, hey, you're going to get a week off. You're
done.
done.
Gone,
Done.
gone, 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 gone. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you can only pass the buck so much here, and you're right, Bill. I mean, they have an impossible job, and I
Yeah.
just I feel for them having to go out into this chaos, hell on earth, if you will, having not having the resources.
The same thing with the Los Angeles Police Department. There are a lot of good street cops out there. There are a lot of good guys out there that want to do the right thing, but they're hamstrung with being limited in what they can do. And being a fireman and being a cop, different. You're a public servant, but um, as a fireman, you're out there. Everybody loves you. You're America's heroes.
Yeah.
You go get the cat out of the tree, or you put the fire out, and everybody loves you. The cop is only pleasing one half of the equation there. All right. And you're always getting, and I'll say this about the Los Angeles Police Department. Nobody eats their own like they do. Okay.
Ooh,
On complaints, on things. It's ridiculous. Let the guys
interesting.
work, man. Let them work. There's a lot of good cops out there. Don't drag them through the mud on some stupid bullshit complaint. If I was if with the way I was back when I was a young cop, there's no way the Bill Barnes, who was 24 years old, that came on the job, could do it nowadays. I'd be fired in 10 minutes. Okay. Gone. Bill, get out. There's no way. Okay. And I survived some 27, 28 years. I had a few bumps in the road, but I survived and
Yeah.
I got an honorable retirement and all that good stuff. But there's no way now. I would have to be bound, gagged, and my eyes, gouged out before I would survive it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and here's a word, Bill, that gets thrown around so much is safety, right? And in the safety was the COVID word, safety, oh, for you can pretty much get away with everything if you said safety. You and I both officiated safety, safety, safety. Well, something that again was pushed on us all as safety, and I'm circling back a little bit here was the whole vaccination thing. And
you're
I
just
think I
gonna
saw
stick it up my. You just want to stick it up my ass that I had two
Bill, every
vaccinations
chance I get. I don't know how
and
much longer
and
I
you
have
didn't
you
have
on this
any.
earth. I don't know how much
Okay,
longer I have
well,
you on this earth. You're dying before our very eyes. I got to get it to you every chance I get.
mhm.
No, it's not a dig at you, but that was a fun episode we did, years ago with that. But I saw a number today: 113 LA City firefighters were
Mhm.
let go
Mhm.
years ago because they would not take the vaccine.
Mhm.
And I will say this: they probably weren't the bottom 113, and I bet we could use them. And with this vaccination religion, the COVID is a religion to some people. It really is. This thing is there's still people talking
There,
about it
there
and
are
everything.
there are people out there, especially up here where I'm at. Listen to this, Matt.
This is
People
unbelievable.
still people still drive in their cars with masks on, and they're by themselves. I look at them and I go, you are an idiot. But you want to do that, fine. I mean,
To
to
each
me,
his
it's
own.
like if they're doing it because, they pass gas in their car and they can't smell their own farts, they hate it, then I'm with them. Okay. But if they're doing it because they still think COVID is around and COVID's going to kill them,
Well,
they're
none
having
of
a
it
fucking
worked.
fun.
None of it worked. All these things they
No,
said.
no, it didn't
That's
work.
my other issue is
Mhm.
so many people, the people who lied about everything, they're not paying a price for it. When someone lies repeatedly, you should never listen to them again. That's the punishment they pay.
Right.
The news media, they are still now in shock. As you mentioned, with all the new forms of communication and media out there, they're in shock that people listen to, some guy in a garage on his podcast versus me
Mhm.
on some network. Wait, I'm the news. It's like, no, no, no.
No,
You
no,
had your
no,
chance. You screwed it up.
no, no.
This is the truth we're listening to now.
Right, right. The only people that watch the news are people that don't know how to turn on a fucking computer or turn their phone on and watch a podcast. Okay. Those are the people that watch David Muir and I don't even know who the other
Here.
knuckleheads are out there
Nice,
anymore.
nice. Did you see that?
You know
Nice,
what?
tying
We
it
got
all.
that. Okay. I get it. He's a pretty boy. He wants to be a pretty boy. And if he wants to put a clothespin on his jacket, knock your fucking self out.
Yeah, Bill, but he
We
was
got
trying to
big.
be. But this is the same guy that was trying to be a tough guy in the debates, and so
We all
then
know,
when you,
we all know he's not a tough guy.
I
He's
understand
a
that. What are you?
he's a skinny
What are you, a
tie
tough
wearing
guy?
dork. Yeah,
What are you, a tough guy, Bill?
he's a skinny tie wearing dork. All right.
Yes, and these
The
people
women
need to
the,
not be listened
the
to anymore.
right.
I
The
don't
women
care
love
whether.
him. The women love him just like they loved Gavin Newsom,
Mm,
with his, he's smooth and and all that. Smooth as a gravy sandwich with his hair back and all that. He's a clown.
yeah,
He's got no game. I guarantee you, he and I go into a bar and nobody knows who he is except his good-looking self. I would get more women than him without a doubt because he's a
wow,
fucking dork. I
yeah,
can talk. I can
but they
talk.
love him,
Well,
and
let him love him.
I don't know. Does that speak for women highly? By the way, if this like, oh man,
No,
I
it
don't know what
doesn't.
he stands for, but he's dreamy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you know,
Now we're men, we do the same thing, but still, the
right.
point.
But still, I'm not gonna vote for Pamela Anderson to be president just because she's good looking. Okay. Especially now that she's taken her makeup off and I see what she really looks like, which is not
Ooh,
bad.
hey,
Not bad. Not bad. You know,
not at all.
very, very much acceptable. She's older now. I see nothing wrong with her. I think she's a very nice lady.
Very
And I
nice
wish her
lady.
the best. She's probably I wish her best and on her eighth or ninth marriage down the road, and I hope it works.
Billy Barnes, always delivering, man. We haven't done this in so long. So much has happened since then, and I never thought. First of all, we'd see you in the county of Los Angeles, but you've been there a
Uh,
while now.
that's coming to a shit screeching halt. I'll tell you that right
Okay,
now.
breaking news.
Um, there's a possibility of a place in Rancho. Even if that does or does not work out, I'm going back. I'll get something else. I am done with LA.
Okay,
And uh, and if Donna's not on board, then she can take her cats and go live with the cat ladies down in Bell Canyon or something. Okay.
come
And I'll
on,
see her
Donna.
I'll see her on the weekends.
Hey, we only talked to Bill so we can hang with Donna. Come on, the lovely
Right.
Mrs.
Sure. Yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Donna out
Yeah.
there.
Well, she's caught the attitude lately, and she's come out of her shell a little bit, and she's
Okay.
not the sweet docile woman that you once knew because she's been around me this long. She's an angry, angry woman. Okay.
Well,
Why do you think I'm up here
you
for
tend to do,
two, two,
yeah.
2 weeks and 4 weeks at a
No
time?
one, no one would
She
retire
likes
in
her
life
alone.
and
Yeah. She likes her alone time, man. And when
and
I tell her, hey, I got another hitch up north. Good. When you leaving?
yeah, yeah. As soon as I was gonna say the time between you coming back and then leaving again, how quick is it? Like an hour? Is it 10 minutes? But she's like, hey, when are you leaving again?
Within the during the ride home from the airport. Hey, because I'll tell her, hey, watch that car. Shut up, I can drive. When are you leaving? When are you going back? I go, make a U-turn. I'll make sure I go somewhere tonight, okay?
Leave me on the China Air, Atlantic, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Give me, yeah. I'm going to get on the Lufthansa to friggin' Germany or something. I'll hitch a
Let's
ride
have
in the wheel. I'll hitch a ride in the wheel well of a Jet Blue and turn blue.
yeah. I just thought of this, and I don't have much planned, but let's throw this out there. Let's do a would Bill Barnes rather type of scenario. I'm gonna throw two jobs at you. You got
Okay.
to pick one. Which
All
one
right.
would you rather prefer? We teased it
Okay.
earlier.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Special teams coach of an NFL team
Mhm.
or Secret Service for 4 years for Donald J. Trump.
Oh, that is hard, dude. Are you kidding me right now?
Flip it.
Oh, oh boy. Wow. Ah, that's an impossible question to answer, man. I would have to sleep on that for a week.
I just pulled
Um,
that out right now
okay.
too.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah, the gun's at my head. I got to make a decision, right? Right now?
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go, damn, pull the trigger. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll do it live. I
We'll
can't
do
do
it
it.
live. Now you don't get either. Oh
Oh
man.
man.
Come on.
Okay. All right. I would go I would probably go special teams coach because I would probably never get the FaceTime that I would want with Trump, where we could go sit down and have some drinks because he doesn't drink, or sit down and have coffee and just pick his brain like I would like to do. I could do that with like a Pete Carroll or whoever the head coach is because I'm the special teams guy and I have to have FaceTime with him. So
Yeah.
I would take even though I'd be a fish out of water and I'd have to go like read books and talk to people and figure out how to do the job again because I was a high school special teams coach doesn't mean I can do it in the NFL. Okay. Because you're getting all the guys that were stars in college and now they're on special teams. And now you got to motivate them to go down and line up on kickoffs and basically do nothing because of the new kickoff rule.
The new rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or on punts and punt returns, you got to teach them how to do that shit. And they've never done it in their life because they've been a, all league running back and a,
Yeah.
uh, so
All
they,
everything.
yeah, all everything. So that would be tough to be able to relate and motivate these guys to go out there and do the grunt work. But that would be a challenge, and I wouldn't, in a perfect, that would be great. That'd be a dream job, but obviously, that's a dream that is never going to, materialize. But I guess I would do that. But it's like 51-49, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, hey, in some swing states, that's all you need, if you know what I mean.
Right, right, right.
Where were you on election night, November 5th?
Oh
What would
shit.
talk me through that night for you?
Oh man. Okay. I was at home up until around 6 o'clock, and I told Don, I go, he's gonna win. He's gonna pull this off, man. It's unbelievable. He's gonna win. And I had to drive down to Culver City, and I'm listening on the radio the whole way, and he's winning states, man. He's winning. And I had to do a drive to Sparks, Nevada that night. And my partner and I, who is a big time Republican as well, we were high fiving on the 14 freeway when they called it. We were on the 14, about to hit the 38 up there, and they finally, I think the state that took them over was what, Pennsylvania? Was it Pennsylvania, Georgia? When they
They
put
were,
him up,
yeah,
when
they
they
were.
right in there, and they called it. The AP said next 47th president will be Donald Trump, and we were ecstatic, man. And I had it on my phone. I was watching his victory speech there in Mar-a-Lago, and I'm thinking, you know what, this is great. I mean, he pulled it off, man. He did it. The comeback, biggest comeback ever.
Well,
You
and
know,
Bill, you've lived a long time, as I've mentioned, many decades, and you've seen all kinds of craziness, especially when your former line of work and everything. I again, I'm 40 years old. The past 5 years that we have seen, think of all the things we've seen: the scamdemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it, the impeachment of a president. The only time, the second time only where a president has served two non-consecutive terms, assassination attempt, these crazy fires. I mean, there has been the Rams won a Super Bowl in Los Angeles. I mean, hey, and nothing is too crazy in this world. And I don't know, man. And you're 65 years on this earth. The past 5 years, they've really got to be an interesting chapter in your life.
yeah, it's been really, really strange, man. It's been, unpredictable. You've got the media. The media is out of control. The that the media, the besides, Fox and News Nation and those ones that kind of, Fox is they're slanted to the Republicans. I get it. I don't, unless you go on podcast, unless you watch podcasts, there are no neutral, tell it like it is, Walter Cronkite people anymore that just deliver it without some type of slant. Up here where I'm at, when I go to the gym, I'm on the treadmill. Every fucking channel either has MSNBC, CNN, or those commie fucking networks, right? And it drives me nuts. All right. I can't stand it. And all they do, MSNBC slants everything. Well, Donald Trump woke up this morning, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he's probably thinking about going out and committing a mass murder. Trump is, and they just do all kinds of stupid, over the top, ridiculous, fictional shit. Hey,
Which is crazy that it didn't work. They had,
and they're still trying. They're still on
trying.
that
Today's
same
sentencing.
horse, man. Yeah, yeah. Which I'm glad. I'm glad it went this way. I really do. I'm glad they did, because now the Supreme Court's going to get it, and they are going to overturn it, and it's going to be he's no longer a convicted felon. Okay. Yes, he was technically a convicted felon. Big deal. Okay. He didn't do anything wrong. It's a trumped up pile of shit. All right. It's like, hey, we're going to go felony charges on you, pal, for that overdue library book that you had for, 15 seconds. In fact, that's worse than what he did.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking, that episode of Seinfeld back in the day when you had the library police coming after, what's his name? Newman.
I knew we get, Newman.
Yeah.
I knew we get a
Not-
Seinfeld reference out of you.
Not Newman, but the other guy.
Kramer.
Kramer, yeah. Hello, Jerry. Hello,
Cosmo.
Newman. Yeah.
Hello,
yeah.
Newman. You used to
Yeah.
do that with a coach.
Yes,
San
I did.
Diego, right?
I did. His name
Eric
was Jerry Newman. Eric Newman. Yeah.
Eric Newman.
And Eric Newman, right. And he'd come out with it, bring the lineup, and I'd go, hello, Newman. And he'd go, hello, Jerry.
He did the same thing to you, I think, as he did to me one time. He literally yelled at me the first pitch of a game one time. Second game of a doubleheader.
Yeah.
I had the plate. I called it a strike. Hey, we're just getting one. And he was like, that's not a strike. I'm going, it's the first pitch of the game. Let me screw it up first. Oh my goodness. Loved Derek. He was fair most of the time.
Yeah, he was very, very fair. Very fair. Him and Jarbo went at it one time. That was funny.
Oh man.
And Mike was just out of pro ball. He didn't know how to handle him. He lost, Mike, I lost my mind.
Or did know how to handle, however you want to phrase that,
Now, every morning I think of Mike Jarbo. Let me tell you why.
Really?
Yes.
Mike might listen to this.
Are you kidding me? Anyway. Okay.
Maybe not this far in.
There is a guy that cleans the floors at the place I'm at, like right at around 6:10 in the morning, right when I first get there. And he's on this mini Zamboni, right? Cleaning the floors. And he is a spitting image of Mike Jarbo. In fact, I sent Jarbo a picture of him. I said, Mike, what are you doing? And he came back with the LOL. That was it. That was the extent of the conversation. But every morning I see the guy, and I said to him one time, I go, hey man, you got to up your game. You got to go over to Seattle in the arena and work the cracker game or cracks. What are they called? The Kraken?
The Kraken. The cracker game. You are old. I love it. The cracker.
Go over. I go, hey man, you got to go over there and work the Zamboni. And he just looks at me. He goes like that. And one of the Samoan cats goes, hey man, that guy's Ukrainian. He doesn't speak a lick of English.
You got through to him, I'm sure.
Yeah, somehow. And now every morning he sees me, he smiles and says hi. And
on these daily tours of duty of you, Bill. Yes. I mean, is it a lot of sitting around, standing around, or are you dodging bullets? What's going on?
Whatever I want to do, I just need to be available. I need to be on the camp. I need to be on the campus somewhere.
Okay.
And be available to be a resource and to be a consultant.
Okay. Well, we're going way back here now. I'm just throwing this because, again, It's late at night. I'm just throwing stuff up against the wall here because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Do it. Yeah.
With these early mornings of you, we all need a little extra pep in our step. 4 a.m. I get up about 4:30 myself. is there any a morning the past few years where Coca-Cola goes in the coffee cup on top of some coffee, the Bill
No,
Barnes
not
special?
no. Dr. Pepper went in today.
In the coffee, and why? Why, Bill?
It sweetens it up. Just it puts a little flavor to it. I
You
put
out of
some.
sugar?
I put. There's no sugar in this place, and I'm too lazy to go buy some. So what I do is I put the half and half in coffee, and then I put a little spritzer of Dr. Pepper in, mix it up, ready to go.
With you use your glasses to start, or do you got stir sticks? I got
Sometimes,
you.
sometimes I do.
Okay,
Sometimes I do.
see,
If all the spoons are dirty and they're in the dishwasher, here we go. Ready?
man, does it wait? So you're in an
Apartment,
establishment.
an apartment.
Oh, it's not a
I'm, I
it's an apartment.
No, hell no, it's an apartment.
Wow, look
Yeah.
at you
Oh no, this
living
is
the
top.
dream.
This is this is not the we're not
We're
you
not
know
at where would we stay? We're not at Hotel Suites in
no
Valparaiso, Indiana, or wherever.
no, and it's not the Four Seasons either, but it's pretty good living. It's pretty good living. I've got a view out this window over here. I have a view of the lake. There's a lake out here.
Wow, I think it's a
There's a
sound.
there's an aircraft plant which starts with a B. That's synonymous with the Northwest. That's right, over yonder a little bit. And I hear
Okay.
those fuckers revving up 737 engines every morning, you know. And during Christmas, at the lake, um, as I'm going to bed about 8:30 at night on a Friday night, which is I haven't done since I was in second grade, I hear Christmas carols going on quite loud,
Oh
which
wow.
yeah, which I woke up like in that movie 10, where what's his name, the little actor dude, Dudley Moore hears the mariachis and he rises out of his bed because he's hungover. Like, what the fuck? That's what I did the night I heard the Christmas music. But I thought somebody was on my balcony when it was actually across the street at the damn lake on a cold, wintry, 34-degree night in rain. These people come out and sing fucking Christmas carols.
Hey, I love that. Remember when
I
I
was
turned
looking.
your
I was looking for you. I thought you might have been out there.
Remember when well, so back to the coffee thing. Like when I moved, I lived with Bill for about 6 months. He rented out the room to me, and my first moving out adventure as an adult many years ago. And I walked downstairs the first morning, and he's pouring Coca-Cola into his coffee, not coffee cup, into his coffee. And I thought I moved in with a serial killer, so that was scary. But then, Bill, me and Christmas, I decided let's put out some Christmas lights. You said, "Yeah, go right
Yeah,
ahead,"
go right
and
ahead. And I
you
said,
came home, and they were everywhere.
and it looked like a Mexican beer bar.
I had the
Christmas my
spirit, man.
ass. Christmas my ass. I was waiting for some guy with a whistle out in front, whistling for people to come in and take a ride with the donkey and the woman. It's ridiculous.
The donkey and the wolf. Do you mean the manger and the Virgin Mary? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I meant the donkey and the woman in Tijuana, dude. Come on.
Oh, I'm just tying it
Not
all
that I've
in
ever
for you.
been there or done that. I've just heard stories.
Yeah, yeah. I
Let
hope
me
not,
preface
Bill.
that.
Bill, come on, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just Bill. What do you make of this? It's been a dream for me. I've wanted it to happen a long time. A true playoff in college football. I know.
I thought you were gonna say a date with a woman.
Woo!
Yeah.
He pulls
Anyway,
no punches.
none,
He
zero,
pulls no
zero.
punches. Good. That's why we bring
We're,
you on.
we've been on now for about an hour and 40 minutes and getting towards the end. I want to make sure people are still, awake and
Yeah.
cognizant in this show because we go hard from the beginning to the bitter end.
Oh
We
no,
don't take we don't
absolutely.
we don't we don't take a play off
15 rounds. We go, man. Four
all
quarters.
the way.
Unlike some of the teams in the playoffs. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. What do you make? I love the 12 team college football playoff.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and the seeding was fantastic. You're going to have the number 7 versus number 8 team playing in the finals. Boy,
Yeah,
they knocked it out of the park with that, didn't they?
no kidding. Yeah.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
What
You're
does it?
in the seedings,
Oh,
the rankings means nothing.
well, think of it this way. So in the NFL, you got the seedings, but it's home field advantage with your seedings.
Right,
When
right.
when you're playing
Unless,
three out of four of the
well,
games,
yes, it
neutral
is,
sites.
except for the Rams because Gavin Newsom fucked them out of their home field advantage.
Once again,
That's another
Gavin.
reason. It's another reason he should be arrested.
Ab- I put that one right at the top. Absolutely. You make my Rams. I
Mhm.
would the Rams are always at this forefront of history for something or other. This has got
Mhm.
maybe not. It's got to be the first NFL home playoff game, not the Super Bowl that's at a neutral site. Maybe they happen another time, but
I know a regular season game did. They had
yeah,
fires
Katrina,
up here. They had fires in
San Diego, and they played in
yeah, and they moved
Phoenix.
to Arizona. Yeah, yeah.
But
Arizona
those were
seems to be
regular
the
season.
yeah, that was regular season. Arizona seems to be the default place. You
Hmm.
know, if something goes to shit, let's go to Arizona. You know, which I saw that the Cardinals sent both of their airplanes to pick up the Rams, their families, the coaches, two dogs and a cat. That's what the article said.
Really?
Yes,
The Cardinals
yes.
airplanes. Interesting.
Cardinals airplanes, and they gave them full reign of their practice
Facility.
facility. Yep.
Okay.
Speaking of Rams practice facilities, it's right down the street from me
Oh, Woodland. Oh,
in Woodland Hills. There, I
Woodland
went
Hills
by it a
there.
couple times, fenced off. They got his top secret shit. You got two security guards out on is it Canoga or DeSoto? Canoga or DeSoto? DeSoto Avenue,
Sure.
and on the entrance there, and it's pretty well put together. You know,
Sure beats
top
Cal
secret.
Lutheran. Sure beats Cal
Yeah.
Lutheran there.
Mhm.
You and I worked many games there,
Yep.
football and baseball.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's still surreal that they're here for me. Ken, you grew up watching them as a kid back in the
I
day.
watched them at the Coliseum back when I was a kid, man, and they would lose either to the Vikings
Vikings,
or the
Cowboys,
Cowboys every fucking
playoffs.
year.
Oh,
They'd be 13-1, 14-1, going to the playoffs. Everything's rocking and rolling.
love it.
And the
Boom.
Cowboys had come in and beat them 28-0. You know,
Oh,
the game I really remember, which really upset me, was the year that in 70 I'd already graduated. Joe Namath was on the team. He was dog shit that year. He was just, there just going through the motions. He was mentoring Pat Hayden and Vince Ferragamo, probably telling them, which clubs to go to pick up women or something, because, or telling them how to, the quick release pass. Who knows what he was doing? And they played the Vikings in a torrential rainstorm in the Coliseum when
the mud.
both, yes, UCLA, USC, and the Rams shared the field. So
Oh,
when it came time for that Sunday game, the field was a mess. And the Rams lost, I think, 14-0 or 14-7. Namath retired right after the game and went on to his merry way. And I think Chuck Knox left after that year. And then Ray maladjusted came in. Or no, George Allen got hired again. And Isaiah Robertson didn't like him, said he was too hard on him. So Carol Rosenblum fired him and promoted Ray Malavasi, the defensive coordinator,
wow.
who when he would get interviewed by the TV and radio, couldn't control his flatulence, and you could hear him farting and burping
Jeez.
during
Oh man.
during interviews. Very nice man, but not real
Nice
couth.
man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a little Rams history there for sure. And I know someone who you have great respect for who has again come back to the NFL and has made a splash return is Jim Harbaugh, the old coach who used to bark at you and more notably your sideline partner there down in San Diego in college football. Man, the LA Chargers, he's got them playing good football and in the playoffs his first year.
I could see where Jim would be a master motivator. He could bring, somebody out of their shell to do great things. I know that he can get in your head. The one game I had with Jim when he was coaching at San Diego, they were ahead like 42-0 in the second quarter. It wasn't even a game, but he was still competing, man. He was yelling at Art. Is it Art Andrade? That
Yeah.
his name? He was yelling at poor Art for spots and shit, screaming at him. And then he'd play me against him. After he got through screaming at Art, he'd come down to me and he goes, "Hey, Bill, by the way, great no call on that PI, even though it went against us. Bravo, marvelous." I'm going, wow. This
Just
guy is good. He is a
knows his stuff.
mind fucker right now, let me tell you. And but he was pretty good. He before the game he's out throwing passes and he's wearing
Yeah,
gloves, catching the ball. He's out there with his troops, man.
he's
I
eclectic.
could
He's
see,
a
yeah, very much so. Much unlike I think his brother. His brother's a little more mainstream.
Yeah, yeah. John's interesting. I like watching him too because he always seems to fit in without it kind of being in your face, but he always
Mhm,
seems to kind of fit in like a little biblical type of approach, kind
mhm,
of
mhm.
Christian side of things, which I appreciate. I'm like, okay, that's quite like how he does things. He's been there forever. So yeah, the Harbaugh brothers, man, doing great things. That I can't meet in the Super Bowl. Of course, I could meet in the championship game. I did hear this, Bill. I thought this was really funny. Now it's very far fetched, I know, and if the city's still burning, it won't happen. But I heard that there is a chance the Chargers and the Rams, again, in a weird world, if they were able to win multiple games and get to the AFC NFC championship game,
Mhm.
same venue, they would probably play it on like a Sunday or a Monday. But how about that? That would be pretty neat.
How about a how
AFC,
about a
NFC.
how about a day night doubleheader?
Day night
Start the
doubleheader. Clear the stadium, and then
start the
what a
first start the
tribute
first.
to LA,
Yeah,
a tribute to Los Angeles with the
right,
fires and
right.
everything.
Let everybody in free.
Let's go Rams. Let's go not
Um,
not Niners.
okay, so you
Uh,
start the first game at noon.
Chargers.
Game's over 3:30. You got to be out of the ballpark by 4:30. We're going
We'll
to
say
start the next
seven. You
game.
say seven. We'll push it back. Yeah,
Yeah,
push it back a
yeah,
little late. It's all good.
yep. And then we're going to start the second game at 6:30, 7, and new crowd, new everything, new everything, right?
Yeah,
Um,
change it
the
up.
pro- the problem with that is it would take so long to
Oh
clear
yeah,
out a
I
locker
know it.
room. There's just
Hey, a
no way
man
you
could
could play
dream.
them on the same day. Yeah, no
A
way.
man, a man could dream, but hey, it's out there. It's
Yeah.
a contingency plan and possibilities. Bill,
Well,
before I let you go, since you're
by
such a
then,
foot,
by then, by then, there's going to be a flood and mudslides from the fire. That the mudslides are going to extend down into Culver City and Inglewood, and everybody's going to be submerged in 10 feet of mud.
yeah.
The field won't be playable. The stadium will be
So
submerged in yeah. So that's not going to
SoFi will
happen.
look like the Superdome and Katrina,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it'll
And
just be
then there'll be an earthquake thrown in, and then life as we know it will come to a shit screeching halt.
God will come down and say, "You
But
guys got to get rid of Gavin Newsom
quite
right now."
possibly the end. And then Gavin will come down and say, "Where'd all this mud come from? I knew nothing about this. You know, I had no, why? What the heck's going on?"
There's someone else to blame, I'm sure.
Right.
Uh, Bill, I think we did this before on the pod, but I didn't. I'm just going to throw this at you right now. NFL playoffs start tomorrow. As we're recording this, let's just throw it out right now, man. What do you got in these games? Hey, Chargers at Texans. Come on, give me some winners here.
Chargers will win that game.
Why is that? Why? Tell me a brief little synopsis.
I don't think Texas is that good. The Chargers
Okay,
they'll rise up. They'll win that game.
fair enough. Steelers at the Ravens rivalry game.
Oof. I think Pittsburgh's due to win a game. I think
Ooh,
Pittsburgh will win
upset.
that game. Yeah.
Upset. I like
Uh-huh.
it. Ravens are flying
You
high.
can't.
They play.
You could never bet against Mike Tomlin. That guy's a gamer. He's a competitor. He'll have a game plan. He'll have those guys fired up, ready to go.
Ooh. Oh man, that would make quite a Saturday night. Okay, Sunday morning, Broncos at Bills.
Well, Buffalo's tough to beat in their place. I don't know what the weather report is. If they're both snow teams, obviously.
Yeah, I won't scare the Broncos.
No, no, but Buffalo's tough, man. I think their quarterback Allen is really, really good, and he'll
Hmm.
rise to the occasion. He'll have a great game, and I think Buffalo will win.
Okay, Buffalo sounds
Mhm.
like maybe in a close one there. Packers at Eagles. I think this game's a little closer than people think.
I'm hoping for a Packer win
Hmm.
because if the Rams win, they'll play the Packers, right? Is that the way it goes?
Let's see. Packers are the 7, so the Packers would go to Detroit
Okay, so it
regardless.
would be okay. Anyway, God, that will be close. I'm going to go Philadelphia.
Philly, yeah, Philly at
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah. They're tough
Good
to beat,
running
man.
game.
Mhm.
Okay, the Washington, I call them Redskins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Is that at Tampa?
Yes.
I'm gonna go Tampa just because they have the home field. I think that quarterback, the kid from San Bernardino, that plays for the Skins.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, yeah, he's the real deal. But I think, um, why do I want to call that guy Johnny Manziel, the quarterback of
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield?
Same
I
same thing.
think,
Now
yeah,
Baker's had a
yeah.
better career. Yeah.
I think he's really done well down there this year. I think I got to go with them.
Okay, beautiful. And finally, the kind of a game that is well, it's in Phoenix, but it is I don't know, Vikings at Rams. You've been to a few of those back in the day. The 14-3 Vikings at the 10-7 LA Rams in Phoenix.
It depends which Rams defense shows up.
Mm,
If
little
it's the good
pressure.
defense, yeah, they'll win. If it's the one that gives up the 15, 20-yard passes at will, then
Yeah.
they're in for a long night.
Yeah, no kidding. They gotta find a way to get
If,
on
if you're if you're
Jefferson.
asking if you're asking me who's going to win that game, I'm going to go Vikings and hope I'm wrong.
Okay, I like that.
All right.
That sounds like a Bill Barnesism when he goes out or something.
Yeah.
As we are having a good time. Bill
Mhm.
Barnes, this has been too much fun. I know it's late at night for you now as you got to get to
I'm
bed.
just going to stay up. I'm just going to stay up all night.
Just stay
Study
up.
the yeah, study up on the green radicals. See what I can do to interrupt and interdict their nonsense.
The green radicals. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of Dr. Pepper that you can,
There is
you know.
actually. In fact, I was going to pop one, but it's a little too late. I'll probably have to get up in an hour and pee. So I'll pass.
8 hours. So you work at whatever 5. When are
Six,
you off?
six, six, 6 A to 2 P. Oh, 6 to 1400.
Oh man, what 2:30? What is Bill Barnes doing in a strange city by himself at 2:30?
Well, there's a nice little workout room here in the complex. I go down there and
Okay.
throw some iron around and get on
Yeah,
the
you're looking
treadmill.
svelte. You're looking a little
You know,
svelte, man.
yeah,
What is that?
yeah, yeah.
An extra medium shirt you got going there?
It's a it's a it's a boy small.
Hey, and you find small, and you finally committed to you got the dome, the beard,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Barnes, look at
Uh-huh.
scary, man. Look at scary.
Well,
Hey, we need to do
it's a
this. The
scary
fans.
world.
I told a few people we were doing this, and they're like, "Oh my
Mhm.
goodness!" I said, "I don't think it'll be a regular thing, but I don't know, man. What do you think? Once every couple of months, or should we just
We
wait for
said
the
that two
next?"
years ago. We said that 2 years ago, and you put your shit away, and I haven't seen you in 2 years.
Well, I've
So
been busy with Real
um,
Hondo and like
that's all. I
all the
forgot.
other
I
stuff.
forgot. I know you're the big time radio broadcaster now on the Rio Hondo Radio Network. I forgot about that. So my bad.
It's
I'm
what I
I'm
do.
really glad you made time for me tonight. No, we'll
Okay,
try it.
if
We'll
nothing
try.
else, once a year for sure. But I
Mhm.
think once every I don't know 3 months or kind of during
Yeah. As
elections
things warrant,
as they want.
breaking news, we'll cut into regular programming if warranted. How's
I
that?
like that. Yeah, we said we go 2 hours tonight, and we just about did it,
Right
man.
on the
So
nut, I think. Yeah, it's about two
yeah,
hours.
just about the Get Home Safe podcast. So Bill
Get
Barnes,
and get home safe is very
it's
very
appropriate,
apropos now. Very appropriate now for the folks in LA because
no doubt.
you know um, every night's a riot. You never know what's going to happen. You know,
Yeah,
you're either
riots are
gonna get
coming.
you're either gonna get looted. You're gonna get
Yeah,
knocked on the head. You're gonna be the ass end of a high speed chase where some son of a bitch crashes into you, or you're gonna be um, you know going to the liquor store to buy something. You get held up in the liquor store, or you're going to the gas station. You want to pump gas, and somebody puts a
yeah.
knife to your throat. I wish somebody would do that to me. I wish,
Ooh,
and I don't want to put myself out there, but I'll,
well,
I'll stop right there
all right.
because
Well,
they will be bringing the wrong weapon to that fight. Trust me.
perfect way to go out on. I think
Now, now,
you wrote the
now,
lyrics to a Sublime song. I
no, no,
think
no.
2025.
So here's what happens. I go home. I get my first night home. I go to the gas station. Some asshole comes up, puts a knife to my throat. I 10 ring him and put him down. And I'm indicted for murder because I made the statement on your show.
That's right. With intent, so first degree. So,
Absolutely. First degree.
oh,
I'm going to Pelican Bay and I'm getting thrown in with, the best of the best, man.
woo! The best of the best deserves the best of the best. Billy
Perfect.
Bonds,
Perfect.
been a blast. We will
I'll
do
be
this again very soon.
meeting friends and influencing others. All right.
As
Okay.
only you can do. Billy, help me sign it off. We're gonna wrap it up. We're just gonna call it like it is. Get home safe as my little corny way of signing off because I know no other way to. It's which I think is rather fitting. Billy Barnes, whether you're out on the town or around in
Here we
third
go.
base, get
You got to come up.
home safe.
You got to
Come
come
on,
up
Bill.
with something. You got to come up with something else.
All I have is you in Seattle, Washington, or wherever you're from. Portland, Oregon.
Seattle. Yeah, in that area.
See,
You know,
it's Great Northwestern America or whatever the give me
let's see.
when you're in LA and you're walking through the fires. No.
Yeah. When you're up here and you're smothered in liberal people with driving Priuses with freaking stickers on them, and it makes you want to just shoot yourself, don't. Just go home and wake up the next day and do it all over again. How's that?
Hey man, sun
That's
rises.
just, yeah. The sun will always rise. Remember, it's gonna burn for another 5 billion years, just like it's burned the last 6 billion. Okay.
Yeah. Unless all those protesters shut it down.
No need to worry.
No need to worry.
You can't extinguish it, no matter how hard you try.
It sounds good. Well, Happy New Year, Bureau. We'll be hearing from you very, very soon, my friend.
Hey,
Thanks for tuning in, guys, to this latest
absolutely.
edition of Get Home Safe with Bill Barnes.
Go Ray.